Hello, you're watching Ellie from Ellymentry Papercrafting. I'm an independent Stampin' Up demonstrator here in the UK. I just have a couple of last minute cards to make, and I'm using my trusty Merriest Moments. It never lets me down. I can always make a beautiful card with this set. So that's my stamping, and I'm going to be using dies again from something I've been using over and over, Fabulous Frames. Okay, so I have found if you want to do something, not too difficult, quite quick and simple, if you layer up cardstock to begin with, you've got a fabulous card. All right, so I'm starting with my card base, and this is the A6 base. So if you've got a piece of A4 cardstock, you cut it in half, that gives you A5. You fold that in half and that gives you A6. I'm going to put another layer, and that's going to be in real red. So I've made this, I've cut it 1/4 inch smaller than the black. The black is 5 3/4 by 4 1/8 when it's folded in half. So this is 3 5/8 wide by 5 1/2. And then my next layer is the white, that's another 1/4 inch smaller, 3 3/8 by 5. And then I've got a piece here that it's not critical, it just needs to, I'm going to cut the middle of this out, this needs to sit behind, so it just needs to be a bit smaller than that one. Okay, but as I say, the measurement's not critical as long as you've got the center there. Okay, so when you've built that up, it's going to look really nice. It's, all those layers really add to it. And then what you put in the middle can be quite simple. Okay, so I'm going to start by taking the larger of the two white pieces. So I'm going to take this card and I'm going to place this die as centrally as I can. Sometimes you need to hold it up in front of you to actually get it spot on. I think I'm pretty much there. So I'm going to put some low tack tape, whatever you like to use, and put that through my die cutting machine. So it comes out like that. Now I've also cut this frame again using some gold cardstock. So the gold one I'm going to stick on to the top of the other one. Okay. And I'm just going to use my Tombow multi-purpose glue . And you can make sure it's stuck in exactly the right place by running your fingers around the inside. Okay. And I'm just going to use a tissue to buff this up a little bit, because if you've put your finger marks on it, it's not going to look so good if you've got a little bit of glue on there. So just get a dry tissue and go all over to buff it up. Okay, and that's going to fit really nicely in that place, and then you've got the gap. Now that's why you needed the small piece underneath, because we're going to stamp on this. We're going to have our message in the middle there. Okay, but before I do anything else, I'm going to do some stamping and embossing on this piece. So I'm just going to bring in my two piercing mats that I've stuck together to give me a nice big surface for stamping. I'm bringing in the leaf here from the Merriest Moments, and I'm just going to pop it on the top here in a couple of places and in the opposite corner there. And for this I'm choosing to use shaded spruce. That goes beautifully with the real red. So I get that inked up. And it doesn't matter if we go off of the cardstock, that's absolutely fine. I'll do another one there and there. This doesn't have to be precise because we are going to have some poinsettias covering this, so just as long as we've got plenty of greenery around here, it doesn't have to be precise. Okay, so I think that should be enough. Then what I'm going to do is fit that frame nice and neatly inside there, and I'm going to place it in the embossing folder that you can get to coordinate with the Merriest Moments. So we'll put all of that inside. Now there is a square in the middle of this already, so I'm going to, let's just line this up so that there's an equal distance all the way round. Then fit this in. Just feel with your fingers, it slots in really easily, and close this down. Keep it nice and straight, and then I'm going to put this through my embossing machine. So when it's embossed, it comes out like this, which I think you'll agree looks really gorgeous. So we're going to pop that one underneath. That's going to have our greeting. So I'm going to stick this together now to make sure I get this so that my greeting is in the right place. So I think the best way to do this is to put our frame down first and then pop this one in the centre. I'm going to put a block on top of that and move this away to dry. I'm now going to use another die from the Fabulous Frames to cut out some little corners, and I'm going to use the gold again. I only need 2, so I'm just going to pop this like so, so that I don't cut any more than I need at the moment. So that's my 2 corners. And let's see how my card's setting up. So that's stuck really well. So in the centre, I'm going to stamp my greeting, which is a joyful Christmas to you and yours. And for that, I'm going to use the real red. Make sure you've got plenty of ink. You don't press hard, you just tap it. Don't press down. And again, you don't need to put lots of pressure on here, just give it time for the ink to transfer to your cardstock. So now this is ready to mount onto our cards. So again, just using my glue. So taking my two little corner pieces that I embossed, I'm now going to fit those on to the opposite sides here. And then to finish it off, I've stamped and cut out two little poinsettias, and they're just going to go in the centre there. I've got some glue dots that I had from a kit, so I'm just going to use those. So I'm going to put a couple down in the centre and then take the backing off. Put those in the opposite corners. So that's my card today. I hope you've liked this little video. If you have, please give me a thumbs up. That helps with my YouTube algorithms. If you want to purchase anything that you've seen me use today, or indeed anything from the current catalogues, then you'll see a link below to my online store. And there's also a link to the digital downloadable catalogues, so you can have a look at everything that's available. Well, thanks again for watching, and I hope to see you on Saturday for my live. Bye-bye.